Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? Let's see. We have Sticky, we have S198, we have Pico. Welcome all. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. How is everybody's day going thus far? How is everybody's week going thus far? Hopefully everybody is doing all right. Hopefully it's been a productive week. What's going on, Jax? Welcome to the show. What's going on, Rampage? Welcome, welcome. My day is okay. My week has been mid. Gotcha. Funky Unky, says Jax. Funky Unky indeed. What's going on, Eldon? How are we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the midpoint of the week. Really good, dude. Glad I caught the start for once. Nice. I'm glad as well. Glad to hear you're doing well, and glad you were able to catch the start of the stream. Is everybody having a pretty okay day today thus far? I have had a relatively quiet day. No, I'm still working on the combo that I was starting to build out on the last stream. Do not have it down, do not have it consistent, but we're working on it. What's going on, Useless? How are we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Happy Wednesday to you all. My day has been awesome, dude. Super chill. Just been doing two-handed stuff at the moment. Nice. I do not do two-handed flipping. Though admittedly today I was trying a couple things with my left hand just to see how funky it felt, and it felt funky. S198 says, been working on Pollux. I learned it in like 5 minutes. Nice, excellent. Hope you're having a great day too, Unc. I am having a pretty good day. I'm not gonna lie. It's been eventful. It's been good. I don't have any current complaints. Burgundy says, Bali Unc, what's good, man? How we doing today, Burgundy? How we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Hopefully you're doing well. This thumb roll over to Chaplin is really putting me through my paces. The choker fan to palm fan is proving to be easier for me than roll over to Chaplin. And Jason says, hi, Unc and chat. Hi, Jason. How are we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Hopefully, that was horrible. Hopefully we are doing well today. Oh, I missed Blue Bomber. Week's been kind of meh, mixed reviews. Someone tried scamming me, but at least I verified it was a scam. Well, I'm glad that you were able to avoid the actual act of getting scammed, but I'm sorry that you went through that. That really sucks. No, that was not. That was not where it's at. Got a stream with Balisong Traveler soon, dude. Very cool. So a collaboration stream you're doing? Excellent. I always struggle with collaboration streams. I always feel like I do a disservice to anybody that I share the screen with. So I have only done a handful of them, and I'm fairly confident that I have felt guilty about it after the fact, which is why I don't typically do collaboration streams. Yo, Sam pulling out all the collab streams this week. That's true. I saw him. What was it? Yesterday, I think he had done a collaboration stream yesterday too. All right, and then Rampage is just asking how Blue Bomber is doing. Oh man, that palm fan or choker fan to palm fan is a struggle. What's going on, LeBreton? How we doing today? Yeah, with Ellie, that's right. It's going all right, LeBreton. How are we doing today? How are you? How was the start of your week thus far? Nope. All right. I have been flipping my Orion S for like hours at this point. I need to move on to something else, but nothing else works as well with the combo that I'm working on as the Orion S, because the Orion S is really good at fans. I can get a solid choker fan on it. And I just overall absolutely love the balance. Whereas everything else, there's something that I struggle with. Let's see. We have some salutations. LeBreton says, "I see you shaved your face." Yes, I did shave my face. That is a true statement. And then Rampage says, "That's fair, dude. Hope the rest of the week is better, dude. More chill." Oh, with regards to Blue Bomber's response, Orion S fans like a dream. I agree. And Sticky says, "Hi, LeBreton Flips." Hi, Unc. Hi, Sticky. I'm pretty sure you were one of. Oh, I'm on top chat. I'm pretty sure you were one of the earlier people to say hi. You may have you were. You may have stepped away. But I had said hello to Sticky. Unc, have you tried a Seraph? I have tried. Yes, I've tried a Seraph. I know at Panchetta when I was visiting the store. I had flipped Lance's Panchetta. I know at Blade Show that was horrible. I know at Blade Show I had flipped at least one Seraph, and I have also flipped an Opus V2 with a Seraph blade. So in a couple different form factors, I would say yes, I have flipped a Seraph, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I was on mute. Sorry. No worries. No worries. I was just making sure you knew that I had in fact greeted you when I saw that you were in. Orion balance is great. Do think some inserts will be perfect or will perfect it. Gonna be getting more use out of mine until gonna be getting more use out of mine until I fix or replace my refault. Gotcha. So is your refault your main flipper? I honestly have not been showing my refault nearly the love of late. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna flip that because I think that'll do me better than the answer is doing me right now. I have not been giving this the attention that it deserves, especially now that I have been working on the new the new combo. And LeBreton says, "Oh, sticky. Okay. All right. Oh, so everyone is aware, just to get it out there early. And I say this, and then I run like a 2 hour long stream. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for today. And admittedly, Unc has a tummy ache, so we'll see. We'll see how well everything goes, how long everything runs for. Yeah, refault has been my main. Sadly, after a while, the G10 under the scales wears out and doesn't keep tune right. Starts tapping and feeling like crud. Man, that's a bummer. Thankfully, I have not had that experience thus far, but I did have an experience with the Tonto where I dropped it and cracked the G10 a little bit, not all the way through, just a little chip off of the surface. Doesn't impact anything, but it is right around those pivot screws. But thankfully, it didn't have an impact on the ability to tighten it down, and I haven't had an issue uh, with any sort of tune issues. Making some crazy progress with the new Bally's. Ooh. I'm fixing up an axe on my sharpener at the moment while watching. Very cool. I would not. I normally say dull all the things, but I am a supporter of a sharp axe. Nah, you dude. I will agree to disagree on that one, Rampage, but I appreciate it all the same. In the last couple of weeks, I honestly have not been making hardly any progress whatsoever, aside from the working out of what I want to be the beginnings of a new combo. But even then, since I kind of worked out what I want to do, I've been doing it, but I have not been like strongly improving any of those skills, except I'm getting into the I am admittedly getting into the choker fan out of the extended twirl much more consistently with a great many more Balis than I had been prior to my deciding to start doing that. But like I said, the rollover to Chaplain, that was probably the smoothest one I had yet, and that was choppy. Yeah, my refault has seen some tough times. That was bad. It does take a lot to wear it down. Gotcha. I'm still getting used to the new Balis, bro. It's way harder than I realized, I bet. Can't wait for the Bowie. It's the one I'm most excited about, not gonna lie. Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I'm super excited for all of your new toys. And that what is it, Banshee? I think it's Banshee. That the one that you had ordered. That Bali Unc Flipping had got you. That thing sounds so good. K-Dog says, "What's up, Unc? Fresh cut and cool shirt." Thank you, K-Dog. I appreciate it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. How are we doing? Hopefully your week has started out well and it's all teed up for a good second half. What's going on, Tevco? How are we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Mel Flipping as well. What's up, everyone? How are we doing, Mel? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I actually have a Banshee. That's what it is. I said Banshee. I actually have a Banshee coming. Very cool, S198. Banshee, you've got to grab one. They've got one in a nice pink fade. Nice. Nice to know that. Honestly, I am probably a ways away from getting another Bali. I'm good with what I have at the moment. And I'm about to start toying around with the idea of, screwing around with what I have. I don't know that I necessarily need to add anything more to the collection. We'll see. Let's see. And then, pink Banshee would be heaven. I agree. Nice fade cut, Unc. Thank you, Mel. And Tevco says, did you send Rampage your default or someone else? Wait, refault or someone else? Maybe at 1,000 subs, I'll have to send you one, Unc. Same for Levi. I don't need anything sent to me. I have enough. I have been sent enough to play with at this point, and admittedly, there is probably at some point in time more that is going to be sent to me on loan to play with, at some point in the future. So no, I'm good. Don't worry about it. I appreciate it though. I appreciate it. Yeah, I keep getting back into there's no such thing as Unc having too many Balis. I didn't say I have too many. I said I have enough. We're good. We're good for a bit. I think honestly, there are two things that I wish that I had in my collection that I don't, that I can think of at the moment that are publicly available, and two things that I would love to have in my collection that are not yet publicly available. So I would love to have a Zyzix because that is my perfect balisong. Everything about it ticks all of the boxes for me. It has a perfect balance, perfect feel, perfect sound. I love absolutely everything about the Zyzix, and a squid trainer because I I love the sound of the squid trainer too. And then the two Bally's that don't exist yet, aren't publicly available in being in production at the moment, are the Nibalis Riptide, which we just have a little waiting game before that comes out. The winner of this year's Create with Nibalis. Looking forward to that, and then the Heritage Comb by PR Balisong, which I had gotten to flip a prototype of at Blade Show, and that is the one Bally that I can think of that I would give up my Orion S comb blade for, because everything I love about this I loved about the Heritage comb, but the Heritage comb is a higher quality Bally. It's got titanium handles. It's got a really sick dual tone comb blade. Just all in all, it's just super super awesome. Yo, Unc, the cheese is my new favorite flipper. It's so fun. That is so cool. I'm happy that you enjoy it as much as you do. Happy that you ended up getting it. That's awesome. And then Rampage says, sounds awesome, dude. I've heard super good things about the Squid V4, Squid Trainer V4. Yeah, it's a really, really cool Bally. It threw me off at first because it's heavier. In my mind at the time, what do I want to flip? Oh, you said cheese. I want to flip my cheese. At the time, I was really struggling to wrap my head around the Squid Trainer because it's heavier, and my mind at the time equated heavy to handle bias. But the Squid Trainer is probably more of a neutral-ish Bally. And so it was really awkward and different for me to flip at first. But I could not get over the ring because even after being done flipping it and setting it down, the ring was still going on, a solid 3 or 4 seconds after I had set it down. It was just so cool. I'm dizzy. I need to stop spinning. Yeah, don't spin around and make yourself dizzy. Sounds okay. Already said that. Squid Trainer is the worst balisong of all time ever. I've flipped, in my opinion. I hate it. It's a good flipper, but not for me. Yeah, I mean, not everything is for everybody. So that's totally fine, Mel. I know I enjoyed it, very much so, but it was a bit to get used to. Bro, Bally's with good ring are awesome. I agree. I really, ring of shame, appreciate the ring. Ring is the worst, Rampage. No, ring is the best. I love it. Yeah, the only thing that I have at the moment that actually does any sort of ringing, I think, is this one right here, which is the Kraken Trainer. And it doesn't have much of a ring, but every now and then it'll ring. Ring is bad, right? No, I don't think so. Ring is amazing. Ring sucks. Squiddy is too light, LOL. I like my heavy steel trainers too much. Well, okay, but I think you're talking about just the Squid Industries Squiddy, whereas what I'm talking about is the Squid Industries Squid Trainer, which is definitely not a light Bally. It is a heavy thing. The Zyzix ring sounds amazing. I agree. I love a ringing Bally, but also the glassy ones. Agreed. Yeah. Epic says ring is cool. I would agree. And S198 says gotta go. All right, take it easy. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. See you guys. Gotta go, says Mel. All right, Mel, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. I cut a ball with my live blade cheese. What? That doesn't make any sense. And K-Dog says, have you tried Haze Tech? My Floroma sounds like a bell, but I enjoy it. I have not tried a Haze Tech. No, as a matter of fact, the only like super ringy, chimey Bally that I recall flipping, there were a couple, but but the only one I recall the name of has been the Zyzix of varying. Well, no, I take that back. I did flip the Thai Kite at Blade Show, and that had a nice little ring to it. But like the other super high end expect like the Hellcat and stuff, I know I was around them, but I don't recall if I had ever had an opportunity to flip it or not. No, that was not great. Let's try that again. Oh. That was not smooth either. All right, let's try the live blade instead of the trainer. We've only asked what your favorite Bally is now. What's your least favorite Bally? Ooh. Man, what is my least favorite Bally? That is a really hard question. I mean, of my collection, let's see. Of my collection, what I would say is the least satisfying Bally to flip. Oh, man. Well, I won't say least satisfying Bally to flip. I would say the worst of my collection is probably, interestingly, Blue Bomber, it's not the TikTok Bally because I like the sound of the TikTok Bally. It's a really satisfying sound, and it has a pretty neutral balance profile, so I don't mind it because it's different. Man. Honestly, I would say of my collection, my least favorite Bally is the Squiddy U. I never pick this thing up and flip it. If I want to flip a plastic Bally, for the most part, I opt for the Lifrix canvas. I enjoy the feel of this one a whole lot better. Every now and then, I'll pick up the Squiddy U and think, okay, the balance is a little bit better than the Lifrix canvas, but in general, I enjoy the canvas more than I enjoy the Squiddy U. So I would say for me, it's the Squiddy U as far as my collection is concerned. I would say other than that, the only thing that I could think of as far as like, and I don't want to say a bad Bally, but you know, least favorite, other than the Squiddy U, which is like a totally fine Bally, I would say probably maybe the original Vulp, which all of my gripes with the original Vulp, even though I never had one, I did get to flip one. All of the gripes that I and the majority of the community had seemed to have with the original Vulp were fixed with the addition of the Teflon coating. So I've always had the Teflon Vulp. I absolutely love it. It's my go-to for learning new stuff. But my experience with the original Vulp without the Teflon, you know, I understand all of people's complaints with regards to it. So I would say, I don't know, maybe that. I might get a Reverie. Says Huzzah. What's going on, Huzzah? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Hopefully you are doing well. I've got to go. Hope the rest of your stream is awesome, dude. Thanks, Rampage. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Have yourself a great night. Have a great rest of the week. And then I don't know what the bit is for the body screw of the. Wait, I don't know what the bit is for the body screw on the Rep clone. I'm not sure what you mean. You got a crescent? Yes, I do. I have a crescent. I got it. I got the white and silver one, and then in an attempt to dye the scales pink, they turned out this pinkish purple. Yeah, but love the crescent. I don't flip it as much as I should. It is one of those ballets that I can get a really consistent choker fan on because of the grip of the handles. I really like the way that the G10 was applied to this Bali because it allows for you to be able to grip the G10 when you're holding onto the metal surfaces, as well as obviously the G10 surface. Have you seen the Panda silver color for the crescent? No, I have not. However, I have since gone to Nibalis and checked out the Blood Moon version because I had heard a lot of people talking about that. So I finally got to look at that. But no, I have not seen a Panda silver color for the crescent yet. It's new and it looks quite good. Very cool. I will check it out. That was not good. I think it's either. Oh wait. I don't know what the bit. Oh, what the bit is for the body screw. Okay, I understand the question now. When you say body screw, you're talking about these smaller ones. That is. Let me see if I can remind myself. Is it this one? Yeah, it's that one, and that is a. Oh, I don't. I think that says that it is a T8. So if you are referring to the smaller ones that hold on the Zen pins and the spacers, then yeah, it would be a T8. Can't stay. I'm glad I could stop by. See ya. Thanks, Silas. Glad you were able to stop in. Hopefully you have a good rest of the week. Yeah, so Tevco, I believe it's T8. Let's see. Oh, I got a Blood Moon. Says Huzzah. Very cool. Yeah, I got a Blood Moon one. It's not very durable. That's a bummer. Oof. Ugh, missed it. Okay. Let's see what else. That was not good. Not a big fan of the Nibalis cat either. I am. I like the cat more than I like the cheese. Just simply because it has a better balance profile that matches my preferences. The cheese is a little bit more handle biased than the cat. And I tend to err a little more on the side of less handle bias, more neutral balance profiles, but to each their own. Speaking of which, let me flip that. That, and I love the grippiness of the scratches on the cat's handles. No. Let's see. I learned the shortstop on my cat. Very cool. I am I am still learning the shortstop. I still do not have it down in a single fluid motion. Um, I wish that I did, but I don't. Yeah, ugh, I'm still fighting myself to remember to keep that momentum going. So I find myself doing it in a two step process at all times. I like the impulse. It's just so not durable, bro. I never was a huge fan of the impulse. For me, it was too light. But I mean, I didn't know very much. The last the last time I remember flipping the impulse. Um, my opinions may have since changed, and I just haven't picked it back up again. But at the time, the first time I had ever flipped one, it was very light in comparison to what I felt that I was used to. You know, that was all right. Let's try flipping Gil. Yeah, that choker fan to palm fan is something I definitely need to keep working on smoothing out because I cannot do it in a fluid motion, but maybe one time out of 20. And some of my Baileys, I just really struggle in getting a quality fan with. It just feels like they're fighting me. Um, and Bombert says, just got an Aeon V2, such a good Bailey. Yeah, the Aeon V2 is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So I have been very vocal about the fact that, I, don't um, generally people well. And so because of that, when I was at Blade Show, I didn't spend very many times at the booths because to be at the booth, you were basically standing in front of the Balisong maker, and that was very intimidating for me. But I spent a fair amount of time at the Andrew Myers Knife Works booth, flipping both the Peon and the Aeon, because I was so thoroughly impressed um, by how it flipped. It was so good. My impulse is so broken, but I learned the behind the eight ball on it. The screws were on their last life, but they're better now. Well, excellent. Yeah, I totally, especially if that's a Bally that you learned a lot of tricks on. I can totally understand, why the impulse would be um, a Bally that you really like. For me, that's probably a part of the reason why the Teflon Vulp is my go-to for learning new tricks, is because this was my first metal Bally, and this is what I learned like everything on. So this is my, kind of my standard for learning something new. It's weird when I was working on the choker to palm fan, I'd have to kind of psych myself out, like I was setting up for a thumb rollover and just send it into a fan instead. Interesting. And Boomer says Andrew is a really nice fella. Yeah, I wish I would have actually spent some time talking to him because I've heard nothing but great things about both Andrew and his dad. Um, but like I said, I don't talk to strangers. Some people have the gift of gab and are really good at small talk. I am not. So yeah. All right, I think we're caught up in chat again. How does this fan? Okay, so this doesn't fan horribly. It's just once the momentum starts dying down, it kind of just flops over, which is strange, but it's not one that feels like I'm fighting it. I don't think. Actually, it might. Yeah, it kind of does. The cheese fans easily. Let me see if I would agree. Maybe my issue is just my fanning. Oh no, that's not bad. Not as wobbly as I was going to expect because this is more handle bias than the cat, but not bad. My favorite fanner at the moment has got to be the Dodo Industries Gaivo, though. This thing just truly wants to fan and does not want to stop. The only thing I am starting to notice a little bit when I'm flipping this is, and I don't know if it's throwing me off or not, but periodically I do notice that the blade is longer than what I'm used to. How many battle songs are you up to now? I think the Gaivo brought it up to 20. If I'm not including any of the CCCs or my 3D printed ballets. Yo, Unc, I just bought Rep Clone hardware. It's what BRS uses, and it's 35 bucks for hardware. Nice. Very cool. Man, that was not where it was at either. I'm going broke, says Tevco. Yeah, no, I like I said, Unc is good buying, or done for a little bit on buying stuff. My favorite for fans were my Orion and Sirius, but the Banshu 8805 beats them out. They're all great though. Okay, gotcha. No, that was not great. No. All right, let's try the Stitch. Fingers are getting in the way of themselves. Man, this thing always wants to twist in my hand. Oh, and the stainless steel Astra was pretty good too before I messed it up. Oh well. Yeah, and that's one that I really do not flip very often at all, just because it's so heavy. I'm not a huge fan of those, those heavy steel ballets. It's I love the momentum that it carries. Uh, it's so heavy. It's hard for me to get out of my own head when I'm flipping it because I have the constant reminder that that weight is there. Whereas like flipping the Kraken, flipping the Cat, flipping the Crescent, you know, flipping the Orion, like all of those things, the weight of the Bali, the balance of the Bali eventually just kind of goes away. The balance when I'm flipping this goes away relatively quickly, and it no longer becomes something I have to think about, but the weight of it doesn't go away for me. I like my balisongs right around 4 ounces. I am I need to I need to go through and figure out what my where my preferences are. I think that my preference is a little bit less than that. I want to say that the Orion S comes in for me at like 3.8 ounces. And that feels really, really, really good. But I really like the the density, the feel of the hand of the live blade Kraken, and that I want to say was like 4.1 ounces. So I would say probably just right along the lines of what you're talking about right there. You know, my sweet spot is probably right around 4 ounces as well. The trend is light nowadays. It's 1 a.m. for me right now, not gonna lie, says Huzzah. Man, I'm sorry that that you're up so late or early, however you would want to phrase it. You should go to bed. I have definitely had 1 a.m. You know, evenings where I was still up at 1 a.m. though, so I'm really not one to talk. All right, I'm going to put up the be right back sign. I'm going to drop the desk down, bring the chair around, get a little bit more comfortable. We're not wrapping up quite yet, but we're probably not going to keep on going for all too much longer. But for the time being, I will be right back. All right, and I'm back, and we will flip the answer. I flip a BRS Alpha Beast to build finger strength. Honestly, that's part of the reason why I ended up getting the stainless steel Astra. Was number one, I wanted something that I could flip over concrete and not really have to worry about denting it up, bashing it in, anything crazy like that. But also because I wanted something heavier to work on my finger strength with. The thing is, again, I never pull that out and flip it. So it doesn't actually aid me in my finger strength as much as I was hoping it would. But yeah, flipping a beefier Bally like the Alpha Beast would be helpful in building up that finger strength for sure. Nope. I cannot choker fan the answer consistently in any way, shape, or form. I wish that I could, but the polish just makes it so hard for me to get the grip that I need to. That was bad. That I need to, get the choker fan going. I prefer heavier Bally's. Aerials are satisfying, says K-Dog. Um, yeah, I don't do very many aerials other than the aerial to ice pick. I had been starting to work on the aerial to Chaplain, but I figured that I need to get the thumb rollover to Chaplain first. So really the only aerial I do is either just a regular aerial to normal catch or aerial to ice pick. Yeah, but that makes sense. I would believe that a heavier belly would make an aerial catch of whether that be into a scissor or a chaplain or whatever, make it much more satisfying. Before I messed mine up, I was flipping it a lot. If they refine it a bit, I'll definitely grab another one and I'll get a lot of use, or it'll get a lot of use. And then Boomer says, I like a lot of heavy bellies like the Ham Bass. I have a couple in my collection. Heavy bellies just put a lot of strain on my hands. That makes sense too. Yeah, I don't know that right now. My two heaviest, I believe, are my stainless steel Astra for sure. I think number two though is my Rep clone because I have taken the 3D printed scales off of it and put the G10 scales back on it. Plus, the spacers are loaded up with as much weight as they will hold. So this one is a pretty beefy guy as well. But I think those are the only two that I would really classify as heavy, I think, in my collection. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything I have? I don't think I flipped the TikTok Valley, as a matter of fact. So let's get that in here. Rep isn't light, that's for sure. Well, so the funny thing is, when I have the 3D printed scales on it, and I don't have, because I have 3D printed spacers for it too. So when I put the 3D printed spacers with no weights and the 3D printed scales on it, it's lighter. Definitely in the handles. It is a very heavily blade biased Bali when I have it set up like that, which makes it kind of difficult to flip, but it's also really fun to flip. Still loving the Astra, dropped it a million times, still going strong, says Lost. Totally makes sense. Some people have been having some like tolerance and tap issues with their Astras. Thankfully, I have not. I just don't flip it very often because it's so heavy. But when I do flip it, I enjoy it because it carries momentum really, really, really well. Oops. Ow. All right, let's see. I know I have flipped the Gaivo, the Speed Channel Kraken, Live Blade, and Trainer. I flipped the Stitch, the Answer, the Orion S. I flipped Gill, the Cat, Crescent, Cheese, Squiddy U. Just flipped the TikTok Valley. I'm on the stainless steel Astra right now. I flipped the Teflon Vault. I think I flipped the Orion 1.5 for a little bit, but I can pick that one back up again. I messed around with a Rep. I played around with the Kite AL, the Refault, and the Canvas. So I have flipped everything. JL Slimeline is my all-time favorite. I honestly don't know that I am familiar with the JL Slimeline. My all-time favorite Bally, hands down, is the Acid Works Zyzix. I have flipped two of them for extended periods of time, and then I flipped a handful of them, at Blade Show. And what I can say with certainty is at least where my preferences were at the time of flipping, it has the perfect weight, perfect balance, perfect grip. Absolutely amazing. I love everything about it. I have an Abyss. You have an Abyss. I'm not sure what that is either. Trying to sell it. Gotcha. Zyzix deserves all the hype. I agree. I agree. I absolutely. Oh, Zyzix Abyss. Oh, okay, got it. I'm not familiar which blade shape the Abyss is. Um, yeah, I know that I have flipped the Ipopropatal or something like that, and the man, I can't remember what the other one was. It's the one. Oh, you removed it. I've had a Judas and a Lazarus. That was the other one. So the Lazarus and the Ipa, whatever it was, are the two that I have flipped. The Judas, I don't think that's the one that looks all pointy, right? Um, I think so. Let me pull up the Zyzix Abyss. Let me see, which one is this? Oh, that's a really cool blade design. I like that. That looks really awesome. Yeah, so super cool. All right, let's see. I have flipped everything. The tune on them were lackluster for a grill at that price. Gotcha. I didn't ever end up having any issues with the two that I was flipping. But I mean, I'm sure that mileage varies between Bally's, so no, that would have been a ring of shame. Nope, that was horrible. I had to send them to KSauce Magic after that. Very cool. I mean, not that you had to send them away to get the tune that you were looking for, but glad that KSauce was able to do the trick. Ugh, no. Back to the Orion S. KSauce is unreal good at tuning valleys. That's what I hear. I've heard so many people talking about the amazing quality coming out of KSauce. I keep my bar set really low with regards to tune expectations. My stance on it is so long as I can flip it uh, and yeah, I mean really not and anything. So long as I can flip it, I'm happy. And then Salty says, hi Salty, how are we doing today? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. He is seriously talented. I believe it. Like I said, from everything that I've heard, from the number of people that I have heard talk about KSauce, sounds goated. Oh, fail. No, I really need to figure out if I need to add a movement or something to make the choker fan to palm fan smoother, because it feels like something in the way I'm doing it is shooting myself in the foot. I have a super, super, super dumb question, but I just started. Is the tsunami worse than the Kraken? I've heard many mixed opinions. No, the tsunami, I think the tsunami is more of a grail versus the Kraken, which is basically like the gold standard. So I wouldn't say that the Tsunami is worse than the Kraken. A lot of people, I'm sure, would say that the Tsunami is better than the Kraken. Um, but I wouldn't say that many, if anybody, would consider the Tsunami worse than the Kraken. But I don't know. That might be a dumb answer because I'm just basing it off of my knowledge, which is not infinite at all. I have pretty high standards about tune, but I'm fine enough with someone that can at least be, or with someone that can at least be saved with good oil, or something that can at least be saved with good oil. I feel the feel is very noticeable. And then James says, hey, what's going on, James? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the second half of the week. Hopefully you are doing well. Um, just so that you are aware, I'm probably going to be wrapping things up and shutting things down here momentarily. I have flipped through everything, and yeah, we're probably starting to wrap things up. Salty says, I really don't like the Nautilus more than my Kraken. I started 1 month ago and am looking for more Kraken-like knives. Only have Squid Industries. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of the Nautilus for the most part. I have flipped one that I really did like. I think every other Nautilus that I have flipped, I was not impressed with. So I would say, Kraken over the Nautilus personally. But would also say, like, if I had the choice between only having a Kraken or only having a Tsunami, I would probably opt for the Tsunami. Um, just simply because uh, I, again, the Tsunami is a grail sort of battle song to a lot of people, whereas the Kraken is just it's a really solid all around, it can do everything flipper. But I know the Tsunami, as I understand it, I think the Tsunami's handles are a little thinner than the Kraken handles. And one of the struggles that I do actually have with the Kraken is with the shape of the handles. Like for example, the Orion S, I can consistently get a choker fan on. The Kraken, it is not nearly as consistent, and I have to put a lot more effort into getting the rotations started on the choker fan, whereas it just comes super naturally for me on thinner handles. So I would think for me a Tsunami would be more my preferences. Um, K-Dog says the Tsunami is light and fast. I didn't enjoy it at first, but I'm starting to appreciate it more as I get better. Blue Bomber says, I only have a Kraken and Nami clones. Enjoy the Nami more, but neither are my favorite. Squid just doesn't fascinate me. Salty says, cannot wait for these ghost drops. Halloween will be the best day for Balisong. I can't ladder as well with bad jimping on the Knot and Tsunami. They don't go as far. They don't go as far as others maybe. Yeah, so like I ended up getting my Ghost Mako around Halloween of last year, and I struggled with this thing for the longest time. But thankfully have since warmed up to it once I figured out that it was kind of a more neutral balanced ballet. um, and I was trying to flip it like a heavily handle biased ballet. Um, so the Ghost, like compared to the Kraken and things. Okay. Yeah, the Ghost line, what's really kind of neat about them is the Cerakote coating adds a lot of grip that you wouldn't otherwise have with the non-Cerakote variants. But yeah. All right. I think new knots are better on jimping. It used to be the G10 wasn't jimped, but now I believe, or now it is, I believe. Yeah, I don't know what it was about. I can't put my finger on the, any one particular thing about the knot that I didn't like. I know that it was not where it was at for me. Other than the marbled knot that I had flipped at Squid's booth. I did really like that. I need the Ghost Kraken live blade. Yeah, the Ghost Kraken looks sick. All right, so I think we are probably going to get things, start getting things shut down, wrapped up. The G10 is not jimped on mine. I never got the clones of anything. Yeah, the earlier ones were made like that. Can you do a box cat to end the stream? Can you do a box cat to end stream? I don't know what you mean by a box cat. Yeah, because like if you're talking about the cat like Bali, I mean I have one, but I don't know what you mean by a box. And a chaplain aerial on each finger. Nope, I cannot do that. I don't know how to aerial to chaplain. When I started working on that, I mean I know the principles. Like, oops, let's try that again. Whoa, that was way too hard. See, like as soon as I started trying to figure it out, I very quickly learned it, or learned that it might behoove me to learn the rollover to chaplain first. So that's where all of my focus has since transitioned to. Once I can figure that out, then I'll figure out the aerial to chaplain. But yeah, I cannot do a box cat. So sorry. But with that, I think we're all set. I think it's time to shut things down, wrap things up. For all my lurkers, thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Really, really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Just watch, listen, do what you do. Everybody in the chat, thank you for your engagement. You guys are awesome. You're the reason why my stomach ached stream that I figured was going to last maybe 20 minutes has gone past an hour. Thanks for your engagement. Thanks for your questions. Thanks for hanging out with me. But to everyone, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. We'll see you guys in the next one. Love you.